Hey Gallup, New Mexico, it's Jason with Coldwell Banker High Desert Realty, and I wanted to thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Going Deep with Gallup Real Estate 101. Today I want to talk to you about one of the basic principles buyers use when they're shopping for houses on the market. And this principle is called the principle of substitution. So this is what I want to share with you. Buyers look at houses like these markers. For example, if you look at both of these markers, they're really pretty much the same. They're the same size, same shape, they weigh about the same, and they pretty much have the same amount of ink on them. They pretty much do the same type of thing. So if I'm trying to charge more for this marker than this marker, inherently, what are buyers going to do? Most buyers are going to choose this marker down here. Let me give you another example of where you see this at. You see this at cars or in cars. I'm sure there's a difference between a Kia and a Cadillac, but most people left to their own demise, what do they see in the car? They see four wheels, steering column, gets me there a lot faster than walking, and this one's priced a lot cheaper than the Cadillac up here, so consequently most people left to their own demise will choose the cheaper product. So you want to be aware of this when you're in your principle of substitution when you're trying to sell your house. For example, if we have 3 houses on the market, all of them in the same neighborhood, all of them are 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,500 square foot, you as the home seller need to be cognizant of what your competition is, because buyers, the way buyers are going to look at it can greatly affect whether you get the result or not. Let me explain. If this house, for example, is priced at $150,000, and this house, for example, is priced at $150,000, and then you have a third house up here priced at $165,000, buyers are probably not going to choose the third house. If they're 1,500 square foot, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, everything else is pretty much the same, buyers are not necessarily going to jump onto the third house. What they are going to do is they're going to look at all 3 houses, and then they might come back to this one and have it sold because it looks like a better deal. And then the next buyer, because this one's out of the market, and gets it sold because it looks like a better deal. And this is what's called the principle of substitution. The buyer is saying, I can get the same thing for less price, and so consequently they go there. What you have to be understanding is if you're this house up here, all you're really doing is making these other 2 houses look like a better value to those customers, to those buyers, than what yours is. So overpricing your substitution really doesn't make sense for you and your family. So that being said, I want to give you guys a little bit of a pricing strategy that you can use to be sure that you are not this guy down here when you go to list your house. Let me explain. When we do analytics, a good real estate agent should be doing 3 versions of analytics for you. They should be doing analytics that sold, analytics that are active, and analytics that expired. And let me give you the illustration of where you'll see these. Active listings for this purpose, let's say, are all priced at $150,000. Is it safe to say that they might have been on the market $150,000, but they didn't sell at $150,000? Maybe they sold for a little bit less because of negotiations with the buyer. So let's say everything that sold was $147,000. What we're seeing is that there's this gap between what's active and what's sold. So a great strategy for a lot of home sellers out there is if it's priced at $150 and everything else on the market is priced at $150, but what's actually been selling has been at $147, if you as a home seller come in on a price tag of, let's say, $148 or $149, based on the principle of substitution, what do the buyers see in your house? They see a significant value based on what else is on the market, and what do they end up doing? They end up flocking to your house and getting it sold. Another good thing about getting a market analytic with these three categories, expired, active, and what's sold, is you can also see what's going to happen if you overprice your house. For example, let's say everything that's sold was 147, everything that's active is 150, and what has expired has been 160,000. What you know very well is if you price your house over 160,000, surely what's going to happen is you're likely going to sit on the market for a very long time and expire without getting sold, as opposed to getting the result that you want. So by using these three categories in your analytics, you actually get to see what is too high for the market, what is acceptable for the market, and what people are actually buying at in the market. And it's really a great principle, or it's a great way to tie into this principle of substitution, which helps you sell your house faster and for a higher dollar amount than sitting on the market for a very long period of time. So I hope you guys find this information useful. And what I'm hoping you'll do for me is reply in the comments below. Let me know what you thought about this principle of substitution video. Let me know if there's other topics that you want to hear on Going Deep with Gallup Real Estate 101. And if you know somebody who's thinking about selling in the near future, go ahead and share this video with them so that way they understand the principle of substitution and they don't get caught up having an expired listing that just doesn't sell. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.